Today, on an undisclosed date for my own personal safety, the Central Intelligence Agency has released documents and reports detailing some of the most effective and wild psychological operations, or PSYOPs. On today's broadcast, we focus on one truly outlandish one, the early days of the Cold War. But first, the weather.
Alright, it's looking sunny. No chance of rain today. Slight chance of rain today.
Well, thanks for that report. But now, back to the headliner. During the 1950s, there was a group of rebels known as the Hukbalahap, or the Huks, which translates to the People's Army Against Japan in the native tongue of Tagalog, that had communist tendencies and beliefs. This group was left over from the conflict of rule during the Second World War, and being communists painted a big target on their heads for none other than Major General Edward G. Lansdale, who was a retired Air Force general and continued work for the CIA. There was already a U.S.-backed army ready to fight against the Huks, but the traditional boots-on-the-ground approach was done away with, and the focus went to psychological warfare. More on that after with sports. Thanks for that. And now, back to the story. The personnel from the CIA used the superstitions of the local people to drive out the help for the Huks first and foremost, by waiting for a cloudy day and flying over villages known to support the Huks and playing curses in Tagalog through loudspeakers, specifically directed towards those who aided the Huks. This seemingly crazy tactic worked, as many villagers ratted out or stopped aid towards the Huk rebels. The next step in the operation was to paint menacing silhouettes of eyes facing the homes and compounds of sympathizers and helpers of the Huk rebels, meant to be the eyes of God, and tell the sympathizers that their actions are known by those who are against them. The grand finale of the antics leading up to the control was the CIA vampire attack. In local legend, there is a vampire-like creature known as the Aswang, and the CIA used this to their advantage, staged an attack to scare off the rebels from one of their common routes. They placed agents in the local population to spread rumors that they had seen an Aswang along the nearby mountain where that route was, for a few months before this plan took place. The agents then snatched the last rebel in line off of the trail during one of their routes, stabbed him twice in the neck to simulate the fang marks of a vampire, hung him upside down to drain him of blood, and planted the corpse on the route for the rebels to find him. And the tactic, by some miracle, worked wonderfully, and the rebels evacuated the area and eventually stepped down. The CIA eventually got a candidate elected that supported their goals, using any means necessary to complete that goal, including creating a smear campaign against the opponents, which involved giving out faulty contraceptives in his name. He did not give those out. After this conflict, the Philippines were a U.S. puppet state and a very different nation overall. Communists paid bid. Oh, there was a video rolling.